Good evening. It's Facebook Love, number 174. We are still in a pandemic, and it's actually getting worse. Those of us who take it seriously have gotten quite good at keeping ourselves safe and doing our best to protect those around us. But the fact is, we're looking into a holiday season and the early part of the year, still having to stay away from our friends and loved ones, and it's difficult. And I think that we all really crave some comfort and a break. I read a poem by Elizabeth Alexander yesterday, which was inspiring and had been written for the inauguration of Barack Obama. This one today is all about comfort with some humor. The other thing on my mind is that with Joe Biden coming into office as our next president, we will be rejoining the Paris Climate Accord and moving into a new way of dealing with climate change and sustainable energy, not just coming out of the EPA and the Natural Resources Council. I think I'm naming that wrong, but anyway, our resources cabinet member also, besides the EPA and that one group, I believe what he's going to do is write climate policy and sustainability into every level of government, so it can't just be signed away. We are in an existential crisis, and it's something that's occupied my mind since I was a teenager, and I am not that young. So I have a poem about something like that as well, by another poet named ElizabethJ.Coleman. But let's start with the comfort. Butter, by Elizabeth Alexander. My mother loves butter more than I do, more than anyone. She pulls chunks off the stick and eats it plain, explaining cream spun around into butter. Growing up, we ate turkey cutlets sautéed in lemon and butter and cheese on green noodles, butter melting in small pools in the hearts of Yorkshire puddings, butter better than gravy staining white rice yellow, butter glazing corn in slipping squares, butter the lava in white volcanoes of hominy grits, butter softening in a white bowl to be creamed with white sugar, butter disappearing into whipped sweet potatoes with pineapple, butter melted and curdy to pour over pancakes, butter licked off the plate with warm Alaga syrup. When I picture the good old days, I am grinning greasy with my brother, having watched the tiger chase his tail and turn to butter. We are Mumbo and Jumbo's children, despite historical revision, despite our parents' efforts, glowing from the inside out, 100 megawatts of butter. That's from 1996, Butter, by Elizabeth Alexander. It's from a collection titled Body of Life, if you want to look up her poetry. The other piece I have is from a collection that is about climate change and sustainability. This piece by ElizabethJ.Coleman is titled On a Sunday in the Anthropocene. As I walk in the light of a two-rivered island to my post office, I mourn the last typewriter repair shop in New York going out of business, mourn that this moves us further from letters, from connection, from writing home. I mourn that it's so warm monk parrots nest in Sheepshead Bay, lovely as that sight is. Mourn what we've done to birds. For 150 million years they saw their reflections only in the sea. Then I notice a fire escape on a 2-century-old building, casting a soft shadow. I see wheels on a bicycle that, like meditation, seem to slow time. I remember gorillas stay up all night to groom their dead, and reading about a woman in Ohio who gave every building in town a new coat of paint after she was laid off. At my post office, endangered too, I avoid the self-service kiosks, wait in line for a human. A clerk waves me over with her smile, asks where I've been. She tells me about a cruise she's taken with her mother, describes the buffets, the turquoise of the ship's pool. Now I'm smiling too. What's your name? I've been meaning to ask for ages. Grace, she says. I thought you knew. On a Saturday in the Anthropocene by ElizabethJ.Coleman. There's so much changing. There's so much that we'll lose. There's also the possibility of things being better. I thought about something today, and I didn't find a poem about this. I think part of why I identify as somebody who wants government to do more things for more people, and why I am a more liberal and open-minded thinker in general, is that I have a set point which believes that people want to do their best, that they want to try their hardest for themselves and for those around them. And these days, it looks to me like there are people who feel terrible about humans, who call lots of people who are not themselves those people, others, in a sort of sneering way, which hurts me. We all have built-in suspicion of those we don't know. But I think there's a difference between being cautious about somebody approaching you in the dark or trying to sell you a product and just assuming that people have ill intent. I don't believe in things like caravans of migrants full of gangs coming to America because they're trying to destroy us. I don't believe that locking children up and putting them in cages and then losing the contact information for their parents is ever okay. It's painful and awful and smacks of racism and just bad thinking about people. So I think about the future with joy and look forward. This is Facebook Love. I'll see you again.